Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Thirsty Thursday, June 12th, 9:29. I'm about to have renovation workers coming into my place and making a ton of noise, but I'm going to record as much as I can throughout, in and out, give or take, whatever I can do here. But let's just start off with the daily frame. You'll see that we have a down day on NASDAQ, S&P, and on the Dow, with bearish bodies for now, pulling back into the rectangle on the NASDAQ, just above the rectangle at the moment on the S&P and well inside the rectangle here on the Dow. On my trading grid, guys, the daily chart, 30-minute, 1-minute chart, reading from left to right, you will notice that on the daily, you will see the Asian open range is about the same as the London open range, and we're about to come into the New York open range, all pretty much at the same or very similar levels in the next 50 seconds or so. I'll bring you back after we've completed the 1-minute open range and we'll go from there. And there's the 1-minute open range. We're looking at about 47 points on the NASDAQ and about 8.25 points on the S&P. Over to my trading grid, daily down day, but bearish body, flipping bullish here as we speak, or about to, on the 30-minute chart, guys. You can see that we pulled down yesterday in New York, pulled back up into the close. Then we had Australia, Asia kind of sideways, double bottoming here on the London session and now pushing up. This could get quite interesting, even potentially for a long setup. I'm actually going to take this zone out, guys. I think it's a visual distraction. This is at a very quiet time of evening and overnight. The real range is through here. Notice how the New York open range is the same but wider than the London open range and the Asian open range. I will delete the other open range markers now so we can keep things nice and clean. I'm going to be very patient here this morning, guys. Nothing for me to do. See the S&P dropping down a little bit here below, but above VWAP on both. Now you'll notice, guys, that even though we have a down day, all of this down behavior, you see my cursor here? Look over on the 30-minute chart. See that there? That all happened here, here, and here, and then double bottomed, giving all of that back again as we pushed back up into yesterday's range. So I'm going to place a little bit less emphasis on the fact that it's a technical down day, given the structure and when it happened over here in London. I could get bullish here under the right circumstances. Of course, overall, this daily is very bullish. Last month or so, of course. This is actually cleanish traffic up here, certainly above this point. Again, weak zone here, guys. This is the big move. I would consider this whole thing relatively clean traffic. And so the moment I see this wick up here, guys, in the back into the open range, I automatically expand my open range, dynamic open range, in my mind to look like this all of a sudden, right? In other words, I would need a break of this to be a break of the open range, in quotes. That's just the way I view it in my mind. It's letting you know. I call that a dynamic open range. We have a starting point, a firm starting point. It's called the 1-minute open range. Nothing magical about the 1 minute. And so when you see this wiki action, it's okay to expand that and say, okay, so now we want to operate inside of this span of travel. And you can do that several times. If these breaks are not important or valid enough to take an entry, then they can become part of the structure of the open range. Pushing up now here on NASDAQ, guys. Just watching here, guys. S&P still very much inside the open range. NASDAQ had a lazy push up and then back into open range again. Notice the daily body here, guys, really trying to flip bullish. If we can do that, guys, I might get very interested in longs here. Clean traffic. I mentioned that structure here below, the double bottom being taken out of the mix now. Just because we have a technical down day doesn't mean we can only take shorts. We are day traders, right? And so understanding this in the context of everything is important. S&P only now making its way grindily out of the open range. 9 EMA just eking above the open range here on the NASDAQ. Hey guys, back here for a quick moment, noticing that the S&P and the NASDAQ are both outside of the open range. Both EMAs have cleared on the NASDAQ, clearing on the S&P. Looking like we're grinding up here a little bit. Here's what I'm going to do, and then I got to head out and deal with renovation stuff, is put a buy stop order right there. Stop below all of this grind. 1 pivot, 2 pivots, 3 pivots if you like. Right there. Buy stop order, guys, live now. Here we go. And I'll explain the trade as soon as I can. Although it's probably fairly clear. Buy stop order. I'll stay here as long as I can with you. While I still can, guys, let me just explain why would I go long here only if we break above. First of all, I'm looking for confirmation. We are in a nice clean-ish traffic range here on the 30-minute chart. As I mentioned earlier, this zone is fairly minor. This pivot area here is fairly minor given that it happened at a very low volume time of day. It was the start of pushing prices down lower as the session continued here, of course, into the Asian session and what have you, but not for very long. And then we went sideways, put in this double bottom. This double bottom is very key here, guys. This is a nice W bottom or double bottom in London, pushing up into a cleanish traffic zone, as I mentioned. The daily body was flipping bullish. You can see that we have now pulled back below the bottom here. So this order is canceled. This order is canceled. I'm just going to delete the marker for now. And we'll come back, right? But this is why I use stops to enter too, to make the market prove itself to me before getting in. I'll put you back on pause and I'll try to get back here if anything else sets up. This is looking marginally interesting to me, guys, pulling back into the open range with a shift style candle, so some interesting selling coming in. But if we can get back above again with the 9 staying above the 21 on both the S&P and the NASDAQ, and then jump back out of the open range, that can be an indicator of the open range, a very important level, being supported by buying interest. All right, guys, watching here now as you see this buying interest all of a sudden come flying back into here. Just bringing out a marker again, guys. This is the dance. Watching how this candle forms, guys. Buy stop order for now, guys. I might cancel it. Very good chance I will. If we weaken in here, of course, all bets are off. 9 is just below the 21. That's okay for now. S&P trying to stay above the open range. Here we go, guys. Buy stop order above this shift candle. Another alternative, of course, is to put it above the high of the day. That's even more conservative, if you will. I've seen this before. I like what I'm seeing here on the daily, flipping bullish on the daily body. See that as we speak, guys, flipping bullish. And then this clean traffic zone that we closed into with the last 30-minute candle a minute and a half ago. This is a new 30-minute candle. That's important in this too. See that? 28 and a half minutes left in this candle. Just open. This is why I use buy stops to enter on long positions, sell stops on shorts, of course, is to have the market prove to me that it's moving in the right direction at the time of entry, at the moment of impact, if you will. Without that, I'm not interested. There's nothing wrong with limit orders. There's nothing wrong with market orders. There are many ways to trade, guys. This is the way I choose to trade, and it serves me fairly well. One of the reasons I'm considering this trade too, guys, is because of the open ranges. Remember right at the beginning when I showed you that this was the Asian open range and the London open range and the New York open range. This is a triple open range support area if we're above the market. It would be a triple open range resistance area if we were below the open range here. We are technically above all three of them, or about to be. The moment of entry, it would be above all three of them. And so that's a very important consideration here as well. as I discussed with my private group this morning in the pre-market, talked about how open ranges are very important areas because of the extreme volumes that happen during this time. Relatively high volumes in Asia and London and New York. And so those open ranges can act as magnets, they can act as support, they can act as resistance. And once again, this is my second time giving the market an opportunity to bring me in, and it's choosing not to, and that's okay. It doesn't cost me anything to place these orders and to not be taken into the market. This is the dance. Looks like we got some fresh buying coming in here. I like how we've now put in and I'm in, guys, and I'm in. Put in a bottom tail here, guys, on the 30-minute chart, and now we are pushing up. Need to see that break the prior candle high, which of course is this area right here, and then we're off to the races. Long the NASDAQ, guys. Why am I long, guys? I mentioned to you this wick below here on this down day, negated because of this very solid double bottom here in London, and then pushing up with strong buying here on this 30-minute candle in the pre-market. Daily body flipping bullish, clean traffic range on the 30-minute chart, back above the open range. The EMAs had already cleared the open range, pulled back down a little bit into here, but then breaking back above structure on very strong candles. You can see this shifting happening here and being confirmed by the S&P 500 with EMAs that are still outside of the open range. Broad-based blue chip benchmarks supporting the move here, finally. It was not earlier on. And target 1 has been hit, guys, and so the 1-hour all-or-nothing trader has left the game with full profits. And the 2-hour move stop to break even at 1 hour has moved their stop to break even because we hit 1 hour. And target 2 has been hit, guys, so the 1.5-hour all-or-nothing trader has left the game with full profits as well. And we're done, guys. Took a little bit of patience, but all 4 models fully profitable. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you. Talk soon.